Hey Kingdom friends. So I've had so many people wanting to know how to make the marquee numbers, and I decided to do a tutorial on how I make my 6-foot marquee numbers. They are the flat ones that have the border around it, but I just wanted to do a quick rundown on how I construct them. It's really simple if you have any type of woodworking experience. If not, I can go through any process to show you guys how I use the certain tools that I use. You can ask any questions and I will respond to those questions. I can do a video to show you guys something if you want to know something more about a process. Just let me know. I'm an open book and I don't mind sharing. So let's get into the video. Okay. So I'm using sandy plywood. I do prefer to use birch plywood, but they were out, and so I had to go with sandy ply. You want to get them to cut it down to 30 inches wide and 6 feet tall. You can go a little wider if you would like. I choose for them to be tall and skinny, but that's just my preference. You could use a projector screen to project your image onto the board and trace it out. I decided to use my yardstick and I measure each little part of the number to be 10 inches. Right there, I am measuring the corners and I measure them 7 inches across so that I can cut it out and it'll be at an angle. So right here, I'm using my DeWalt's jigsaw. I think I picked it up at Lowe's. It was like $99. Okay, here I'm showing you that you cannot cut a 90-degree angle with a jigsaw. So you'll have to, when you get up to the corner, you'll have to like swerve it around and then meet the rest of the line on the other side. If you guys do not understand that, please let me know and I can do a video to show you what I mean so that you can master that skill. And it's so important to pin down your boards while you're cutting, because if you don't, your jigsaw will just vibrate and your board will move and you could get injured doing it that way. So it's very important to use clamps or something to hold your board down. Here I'm showing you how I'm going back in on those 90-degree angles and cutting those pieces off and then cutting the corners off to make those angles. Okay, so here I'm using my table saw to cut my edge pieces out. You want to be sure that you go through and do your angle cuts first. Your angle cuts are the most important part of this because if you skip your angle parts, it's harder for them to fit in. Here I'm showing you how I use my pencil to mark where the wood would meet the other piece of wood so that you can be sure that when you cut it, it fits snugly into its spot. Be sure to use some form of wood glue. That is actually what holds your wood together. You want to nail in from the bottom, and the nails just act as reinforcements. I'm just showing you another angle of how I lay my wood piece across the other piece of wood and use my pencil to mark exactly where I'm going to cut it so that this piece of wood fits exactly in its place. I got ahead of myself, y'all, and I put the wood filler on before I could record it. It was super cold outside, and I took the letters inside and started putting the wood filler on and forgot to record the process. But you just want to put the wood filler in each little connecting spot and any imperfections in the wood. Guys, take your time to sand each little spot where you put that wood filler at. Get it sanded down really, really smooth so when you apply your paint, you can't see the little humps from the wood filler. I measured out a little piece of wood about 9 inches, and I'm going through and measuring 9 inches apart and putting my spot for my holes for my lights. I use a drill and a Forstner bit, a 3/4 Forstner bit, to drill my holes. Some people recommend a 7/8 inch Forstner bit, but to me the 7/8 inch is really too big for the number for the lights. So I use the 3/4 inch. And I go back through on each little part of the holes and I put wood filler. I forgot to record the part that I sanded that wood filler back down. I did do that, but I forgot to add that video. Now I'm going to connect my number to the base. My base is cut 12 inches by 30 inches. I use brackets to connect the number to the base and just screw those in through the back. It's easy if you have someone helping you by holding the number straight so that it isn't moving and wobbling. It's much easier, but I didn't have help at this time, so I leaned it up against a pole and just screwed it in through the back. Okay, so I give it a little wiggle to show you that it's still a little loose. So I lay it on its back, because if you lay it on the front and push it up against, push it on anything, it could scrape your wood and you don't want any scrapes or anything on it. But push it on the back, and I use 1.5 inch screws to reinforce the base. I screw it in through one of the pieces of the border on the bottom, and that gives it a little bit more stability. And so I'm gonna give it another little wiggle to show you that it is sturdy and ready to stand up and go. Now it's painting time. So I picked up this I think it's Stanley brand electric, so it plugs in air gun or whatever you want to call it, paint gun. It works pretty good. There's no method or rhyme or reason of how I paint. I just start from the borders, paint the front, then the sides, then the back. Now I'm putting in the lights. So the 3/4 inch Forstner bit and holes are a little bit too small for the sockets to just slide in. So I do use a mallet to slightly tap it in through the back, and it gives it a snug fit so that they're not falling out or falling forward They fit snugly into the holes. And then you'll unscrew your light bulb, put your socket in and tap it in, and then you'll screw the light bulb in through the front. And now we have a finished, lit up number 3. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, I just love it. Thank you guys for following and watching this tutorial with me. If y'all have any questions, please leave your questions below. I'll get with you and I'll answer those questions. If you need me to make a video on how I went through and made something fit, or any questions you have, please ask me.